Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Michelle and this is Mila. Right, Mila? Say we are, well, not we. My mom is going to be studying ingredients on my meals because of my hives outbreak. So I'm pretty sure Mila has become allergic to something she's eating. And from what I've learned at being at the vet dermatologist, they can get food allergies just like humans. So I did a food sensitivity test, which is not an allergy test, food sensitivity test for Mila when she was a puppy. However, it's been a couple years. So once she had her hives outbreak recently, I said, okay, I'm going to do the two tests again. So what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to also share my screen
Recording in progress.
on my computer so you can see exactly what tests we did and why I chose these tests. And then I'll show you the behind the scenes on how I did one of her tests, which was through Five Strands, which takes hairs and you ship them back in a little baggie. And then another one that we're getting, which is Glacier Peak. Now, their results are really different, and you're going to see that today. And what's so interesting is Five Strands is pretty detailed, and Glacier Peak is more general. I look at both. Again, it's a guide for me. I'm not saying I'm just going to try and eliminate as many of the foods that this test said she's sensitive to and hope that if we simplify and go back down to the basics, that the hives and everything will just go away for good. So that's my method to my madness. The vet dermatologist does not agree with this. I don't think any vet agrees with this. They say there's no science to back it. However, when I got Mila and I did these tests when she was a puppy, it was the best guide I could have ever found. It was it's actually very accurate to a T. I just think that as the dogs mature, just like when I got older, I got allergies to like shellfish and other things. So, Mila, one of the foods that you're going to see today on the list that she had no sensitivity for when she was a puppy, but now she has a high sensitivity. I've been giving her every day, and that's raw pumpkin. I would give her a tablespoon with breakfast. Or another one that's in a lot of products that we use, a lot of the healthy stuff is turmeric. I thought she was totally fine with turmeric. Nope, not at all. So I'm going to show you the two tests that we went and did. So the first test that you're going to see me do on Mila is this Five Strands one, which is a pet raw food intolerance. Because Mila eats raw food, that is why I chose that test. If you're feeding kibble, then maybe you want to just do the pet food test. So that looks like this. If you go back, you can see pet food intolerance. So there's a pet raw food and there's a pet food. So depending on how you feed your dog, you can choose which one works best for you. Now, I sent in the hairs that you can see on how to do this test. What you do is you take the package out of the box, you grab the plastic bag, and then what I did was take tweezers and pluck hairs because they need it from the follicle that's inside the skin. I think if you use your fingers, it won't get the full hair follicle. And I just took it from all over her body. I stuck the hairs inside the plastic bag and then I packaged it up and shipped it off. I wouldn't say Mila is the biggest fan of getting her hairs plucked out, but she was a pretty good sport. So I remember when I did it for her as a puppy, she really didn't like it, but she was so funny. So you can see her how funny she is. And then these are the results. So this is what the results look like when you get them back. It does come in a PDF. I organize it into an Excel spreadsheet. And anything in the gray means that she's not that sensitive to. Anything in the green means it's becoming more sensitive. It's a level 1, and then level 2, and then there's the level 3. So those are the different layers of the food sensitivity. Again, this is a guide. So I am going to go to her most used product, which we use small batch. And on the back are the ingredients, and I'm going to go through the exercise just because I need to make sure that the main food I'm feeding her is in the clear. I already figured out that pumpkin is the no-go, but if majority of these ingredients are okay, I'm probably going to continue it. So this is literally what I do. You can see the first ingredient is turkey neck. So that means they list the ingredients of most used to least used. So if it says turkey neck, that means majority of the food in here is turkey neck. So I'm going to go into the gray section and hope that turkey neck is here. And so I'm going to go to, it's a protein. And do we see it on the list, Mila? Turkey neck, I don't see. But I do see turkey liver, and that's this one right here. So I'm just going to make that yellow, that we're good there. And then it says turkey gizzard, turkey heart. Those are both here, so we're good with that. It says regular turkey. So I still need to find the turkey neck. And it's interesting because sometimes it says she's fine with some things, and then sometimes she's not. Again, this is a guide. I don't think I've ever met a vet that says that there's science that backs this, but I believe it's actually very accurate because Mila went into Hives when I started to give her a lot of turmeric every day. I thought it would help with inflammation, when in reality, I think the turmeric put her into overdrive and created a flare-up of allergies. So I am looking for turkey neck still. I'm in the green category. Oh, here it is. So it's a level 1, so that's probably okay. Turkey skin is there. So now I'm just going to go to the red section just to see, are there any, basically the turkey wing is a problem, but that's the only thing. So I think we're in the clear on that. Now I'm going to go to the vegetable sections because the vegetables is where we're having challenges too. Now, the vegetables also go from most used to least used. So it says celery, bok choy, squash. I don't know what kind of squash. Cauliflower, green beans, dandelion greens, etc. So this is Mila's other test from Glacier Peak from 2 years ago. So we are going to redo this one. Anything in red is basically something to stay away from. So as you can see here on this list for proteins, wow. Oh, there it is, turkey. She's in the clear. So we're good here. But if you look at like celery, it's red on that list. Cauliflower, red on that list. And those are both in here. Again, it's 2 years old, so it's definitely probably not accurate. So now I'm going to look at the vegetables on our current results from 5 strands. And I'm going to see if there's any. So we have yellow squash. This one has squash, but I don't know if it's yellow or green. So that's kind of a challenge. It's got garlic. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here. So let's just say that broccoli is not on the list. Lettuce is not on the list. Pumpkin is not on the ingredient panel, so we're good there. I'm going to go to these. It says spinach and sauerkraut, so we're good there too. Now let me go to the level 2. So it looks like level 2, we have squash butternut is potentially, but it's not red. So I'm still going to try it. Mila is getting so sleepy and finicky. I think she's like, can you feed me? But I want to show you guys like exactly what I do. And I literally do this. So if it's squash that's green, it just doesn't specify on the ingredient panel, as you can see here. And pretty much any food that you get, you can research the ingredient panel. So that's fine. Cauliflower is okay here, but as you can see on our last test, it was not a couple years ago from the different company. So I like to get 2 food sensitivity tests just to compare and see. If there's ambiguity where one says she's okay and one says she's not, I pretty much stay away from that food whenever possible. So I'm going to go back and we're going to look for celery. So we have bok choy, we're fine. Cauliflower, we're fine. Squash, we're fine if it's that. I don't think this had chard, it had dandelion green. So those vegetables were okay. And then, oh, I think it had krill oil. No, kelp. Okay. So again, not all the ingredients are here either. So this is a guide. So it does have kelp. Okay, cool. So here we have dandelion greens. We're good. Very good. We have, oh, the green beans are there. Okay. So I'm just going to make, so I just do this for myself. So green beans, it looks like Mila's pretty much okay with most vegetables. Thank God. I know it had kale, right, Mila? Did we have kale or was I just seeing things? I think Mila wants to go to bed. It says kelp, no kale. Okay. Cabbage, no. Okay. So it looks like that's most of it. This is all proteins. Spirulina. I don't think it had that. It does have garlic, and I'm curious to know what Mila's sensitivity is to garlic right now, but I don't know because it's not on this list. Oh, sea kelp powder. That's good. So dandelion root powder, I feel like it had something like that in here. It does have oregano as the spice, which is interesting, and it has cilantro. So some of these tests do show you spices. As you can see, basil powder. So I'm going to go back to the red list because once you get towards the end of the ingredient panel, it means the ingredients use less and less and less. Right, Mila? She's like, can you just feed me that food that you're looking at? So I'm just going to look real quick. Oh, there's also acorn squash. Wow. Okay. So many little miscellaneous things, right? Here's a spice, sea salt, rosemary extract. I really want to look at the red stuff to see. Okay. So if I go to the red section, these are the vegetables. This does not have spinach, thank God, and this does not have sauerkraut. So we're good on that. However, it does have blueberries. Blueberries have been a problem for Mila, and I think they were a problem in the past as well. If I go to the fruit section, oh, she was fine back then on this test, but on the other one, she was not. So who knows? Again, it's a guide, right? Okay. Oops. Let me go back to here. I just want to look at the spices one more time. And then broccoli, lettuce, pumpkin, and then yellow squash. So depending on what kind of squash they use in here. So what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to email Small Batch and ask them what kind of squash is in their small batch recipe. Because now I'm just curious. So I'm sure most of you don't want to spend the time to do that. Totally makes sense. I just am now at a curiosity standpoint and I want to see what Mila, she's like literally trying to take a nap on the computer. You guys have to see this. Mila, do you want to just go get down? Okay. So anyway, that is basically the gist on how I am figuring out which foods I'm going to discontinue for Mila. Most of it is going to be discontinued from the additives that I've done. So I'm going to look at this red list, right? And I'm going to say, well, she never had almond butter anyway, but I used to give her bananas. I used to give her venison, which is now on the not so good list. So I'm going to go and get her a different kind of treat. A single organ treat is what I'm going to be focusing on. I'm going to pick something from the gray list. So if I'm going to the store and I want, a new protein or an organ, I'm going to say, okay, well, let's try turkey liver, for example. And she likes those treats anyway. I already know that. So we're in the clear with that. Well, we're in the clear in quotes because this is a guide. It's not a definite. However, every time I've given something to Mila that was in the highly sensitive, she has had her face blow up. You can see photos of that where I gave her mushrooms and her whole face swelled up. Or you can see her in full body hives. And I think that was from giving her turmeric for 2 weeks based on my old food sensitivity test. So things change when our dogs change. So yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to go through this. We're going to go to the store. We will return whatever inventory we have of whatever Mila cannot have anymore. And hopefully this helps you. So again, the 2 tests that I would recommend getting is the 5 strands, and then we're also doing the pet intolerance test with Glacier Peak. That's what we did a couple years ago, and that's what I'm doing again now. And we're going to redo Mila's diet and treats. Right, Mila? Oh, she sees her food. Do you see her food? Is that what you're looking at? Do you want to say bye to everyone and say we'll see you in the next video? And please share this with another dog mom, dog dad that might have if your dog is itching, licking their paws, has skin problems, they probably have some food sensitivities. So this is worth a couple $100 for each test. I think this one, pet intolerance Glacier Peak, is $130, and then the food intolerance regular or raw is about $80, $90. It's totally worth it. It will save us more trips to the vet, because going to see her vet dermatologist didn't really help us unless I wanted to go on a special kibble diet, which I didn't want to do. I'm going to do my own process of elimination, and this is how I do it. So please make sure to share this with another dog mom, dog dad, and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, whatever you want to do, and we'll see you in the next video.